Hello, Richard Wain again. Going to do a little Hello, Richard Wain. I'm going to tell you a little story. It's something that I say to quite a few clients, something that I definitely talk to people about on courses. I can't say that it's 100% mine. I've picked it up or picked bits of it up, added to it, tweaked it, twisted it and made it my version, shall we call it. You see, I think we're all born as close to perfect as can possibly be. I also believe that when we're born, our heart, our soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is a beautiful, bright, shiny diamond. Only has 2 words on it, on that beautiful, beautiful, bright, shiny diamond. 2 words. The first one is your name, in my case, Richard. And beneath it is another word, success. And while you as a little child, an infant, a toddler, a sproglet, or whatever you want to call them, when you was one of those, you were successful. You was amazingly successful. Let me just explain why. You was successful at being born. That's quite an amazing feat for a human. But then after that, you started to grow. And like all good parents, your parents would have laid you down on your back the way you're supposed to. And you're there as a baby, you're looking up at the ceiling, or you've got those toys and you're playing with those. But after a while, it gets seriously boring. And so in your mind, in baby talk, you decide you want to turn over. And you flip, you flap, you flop, you go this way, that way. You bang your elbows, you bang your head, you hurt your ears. You find 1,000 ways to get it wrong. 1,000 ways to hurt yourself, be disappointed and fail. But then one day you find that one way that allows you to go, and over you go. My goodness, you were successful. But all that pain, all that failure, all that frustration, what do you do with it? Do you hold on to it? Nah, you let go. You don't need it anymore. And then you're there on your front and you're looking there and you're playing with other toys and that gets boring and you look over there and you go, oh, look at that chair. That's interesting. And so now you need to learn how to get over there, so you start to learn to crawl. Oh, you can start to hurt yourself more now because you can scrape your hands, you can scrape your elbows, your knees, your feet, you can headbutt the floor. And again, you'll hurt yourself, and you have hurt yourself many times. You found another 1,000 ways to get hurt and to fail. But then one day, you learn to crawl, or shuffle, or whatever your method was. But you found a way that worked. When you found that way that worked, you kept it and you let go of all the pain and all the failures that were of no use. And then you got to that chair. Oh, I wonder what's up there. Maybe I could stand up and look on the chair. Oh, now you're really going to learn how to hurt yourself, because now you can fall on your bum from height. You can fall and go straight back, smack your head. And again, you found hundreds, many, many ways to get hurt, and to hurt more than when you was just at floor level. You found many ways of failing. But then you found one way that worked, and you could stand up, literally standing on your own 2 feet. And what did you do with all that pain, all that failure? Well, you know where this bit's going, don't you? You let go because you just didn't need it. I wonder if I can sit on that chair. Because that was your next thought. Ooh, can I climb? Now we can really start to find ways of hurting, because you can get halfway up that chair, smash on the floor. And you found new ways of head planting the floor, banging your knees or others. And we almost certainly, I'd like to bet anything that I actually did this, I'd bet almost anything at some point in my life that I did this. I climbed onto that chair and just kept going. Head plant the floor from a height. Head first, head dive onto the kitchen floor. And we had a stone kitchen floor. I could certainly find ways of hurting myself. And you will have done the same. But did it stop you? Did it stop you sitting on chairs? No. And it doesn't matter how many times you fell as a child. You let go of that pain. You let go of those failures. You learned how to sit safely on that chair. You learned from that pain. You learned from the mistakes. You learned from the errors. You learned from the failures. And you moved on. Well, of course, we do need to learn to walk. Oh, we found new ways of hurting ourselves now, because we can suddenly rush over to the corner of the table or the fridge door or other things, and we can fall over at speed now. Crash! Oh my goodness, we can find many ways of getting hurt yet again. Certainly grazing our elbows, our knees and our hands. Maybe a bloody nose on the way. Or two on the head. It didn't stop us walking, did it? No. And all those ways of falling over, you learn from them. You learn from that pain. And then you get the ultimate learning to run. Now you can hit walls really at speed. Or the corner of the fridge. Or other things. There's one more, isn't there? Falling downstairs. Because everybody likes to learn to walk up and down stairs, and of course we learn to fall down them as well. And I can remember actually one time I did fall downstairs. I can also remember climbing out of my cot. Now my mother says she doesn't know how I can remember this. God bless her, she's dead now, but my mum would say, how can you possibly remember doing that? But I do remember crawling or climbing out of my cot, falling and getting my legs stuck, so I was hanging by one leg, and I do quite clearly remember that. And apparently I could have only been about 14, 15 months old at best, maybe less. But anyway, this video is about the fact that inherently you were born with two words, a diamond, a bright shiny diamond, success, your name above it. And until you learned to talk, you were successful. But then you learn to talk, you understand language. Oh, don't do this, don't do that, stop, no, that'll hurt, oh, don't do this, that. And all of a sudden, other people start making you fail. You listen to those words. I mean, silly things like my mum said to me once, quite genuinely, if you fall off that wall and break your legs, don't run to me crying. Not quite sure I could have, Mum. But you know what I mean. Don't spill that drink, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. And before we know it, we're not living a successful life. We're living a life where we're living in fear of failure, fear of doing it wrong. Yet when we was that little kid, we didn't give a monkeys about failing. In fact, failing was the way to actually get it right eventually. So don't worry about failing. Learn from it, move on. Now let's just come back to all this negativeness, because after a while we start to get that diamond and we start covering it with all that poo, all that failure, all that thing. We lose its shine, we can't see it because we're too worried about failing now, too worried about getting it wrong, too worried about being too short, too fat, too ugly, too thick, too stupid, or whatever it is. Sorry about talking like that, but we have these things. We create a shell round that poo on that diamond, and we live on that shell. It's got a script round it that many people have written, from our parents to teachers to the village idiot has written that script for us, and we follow it. It's not the real us. living on the outside of that shell, reading that script day in, day out, know it off by heart. We say it enough times in our heads, don't we? We go over that script 1,000 times, but not in a day, maybe 1,000 times a week, but we just live it. The concept of what I do in the Flourish program is to get that script and sort of wipe it off. And then when we've wiped the script off, crack the shell. And once we've cracked the shell, we're going to shovel poo. And we're going to find that bright, shiny diamond that you were born. And when we find him or her, you'll be amazed how as soon as you get that first scintillating glimpse of that diamond, how quickly the rest of the poo can disappear. Just remember, even if you don't come to see me or one of the people I'll be training, just remember, you don't have to live on a shell. You don't have to read other people's scripts. You don't have to read the script you've given yourself years ago that's wrong. What do you have to do? Rub the script out. And if you can't face the poo, just rub the script out and write a new one. Let the poo be buried. But just remember, you're a bright, shiny diamond, and you were born to be successful. And I bet you, the vast majority of you that's listened to this, you've just seen that diamond. You've seen that diamond with your name and that word success, and you will have given it a colour. That's your success colour. Use it.